Student, welcome back to our BC first year class. In today's lecture, we are going to start a new chapter and new concepts related with heat and thermodynamics. Basically, what is meant by thermodynamics? Actually, in thermodynamics, we are going to understand a new terms like a free energy in the form of Gibbs free energy or Helmholtz free energy, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy, work, heat, Carnot heat engine, Joule-Thomson effect, thermodynamics laws, zeroth, first, second and third. All these points we are going to cover under this chapter. Okay. First of all, my aim is to understand what is meant by thermodynamics. It is a branch of science which study the quantitative relationship between heat and another form of energy. It is the quantitative relationship between heat and another form of energy. As we know the law of conservation of energy, in which we state that the energy neither be created nor be destroyed. We can convert one form of energy and one form of energy to the another form of energy. By using that concept in thermodynamics, we are going to study the quantitative relationship between the heat energy and another form of energy in thermodynamics. Okay. As we know, we are going to study a different terms in thermodynamics, different energy terms like a Gibbs free energy, Helmholtz free energy, internal energy, entropy, enthalpy. There are the two basic concepts in the thermodynamics. One is system and another is surrounding. One is system and another is surrounding. If we see this diagram, one table is there and one glass jar is there which contain a water. And this water in that jar having that water is nothing but the system and the table is nothing but a surrounding. How that we have to understand. Okay. Actually, system is nothing but it is a part of universe which under investigation experimentally or theoretically. It is a part of universe which under investigation experimentally or theoretically. If we take a glass of water and if we study the properties of that water, that is pressure, volume and temperature of that water, then water is considered as a system. Then that water is considered as a system. Okay. So now we have clear idea about system. Now what about the surrounding? It is a part of universe other than the system. It is a part of universe other than the system is called as surrounding. For practical purpose, surrounding is the region which is around the system, which is around the system. That's why in this case, in this example, table is considered as a surrounding, or glass boundary is a part of surrounding also. Glass boundary is also a part of surrounding. If we see this diagram, left side bottom diagram, table, glass and upper part of that system is also a surrounding, part of surrounding. Okay. Means we know we have clear idea about the system and surrounding now. So there are three type of system is there. There are three type of system is there. One is open system, second one is the closed system, and third one is the isolated system. Open system, closed system, and isolated system. In open system, the system which exchange mass as well as energy to the surrounding is called as open system. If we see this slide, there are three types of system is there. One is open, another is closed, and third one is isolated system. In open system, the system which exchange the mass as well as the energy to the surrounding is called as open system. If we see a glass of water, if we provide the temperature from the bottom, the energy and mass is going to exchange to the surrounding, because we are providing some external energy. Such kind of system is nothing but a open system, in which the energy and mass can change with surrounding. In closed system, the system which exchange energy, not mass to the surrounding. In open system, the energy as well as mass will be exchanged with surrounding, but in case of closed system, energy is exchanging but mass does not exchange. Means the system which exchange energy, not mass. The system which exchange energy, not mass. That system is called as closed system. That system is called as a closed system. Closed system. Got my point? Third one, isolated system. The system which neither exchange energy nor mass, with the surrounding, that system is called as isolated system. In open system, the mass and energy is going to exchange with surrounding. In closed system, mass is going to exchange, is not going to exchange, but energy is going to exchange, which exchange energy, not mass. That system is into what? A closed system. In isolated system, the energy, neither energy nor mass is going to exchange with surrounding. That system is called as isolated system. Isolated system. Any doubt in this? First, we are understanding what is thermodynamics. After that, system and surrounding. On the basis of system and surrounding, we are going to classify system into three different types: open system, closed system, and isolated system. So, but practically, completely isolated system is not possible. Practically, completely isolated system is not possible. Okay. Now, next point, the state of the system. Sorry. It is the condition of existence of a particular system when a macroscopic property have a different definite value. When a macroscopic property have a definite value. State of the system is nothing but it is a condition of existence. It is a condition of existence of a particular system when a macroscopic property have a definite value. That is, suppose a gaseous system which having a piston, the pressure, volume and temperature etc. are fixed. Thus, the fixed property shows that the system has a particular state of existence. Means a state of a system with a pressure P, volume V and temperature T, initial state. In final state, if we increase or decrease the piston upward and downward, the pressure, volume, temperature will be changed. It become a P1, V1 and T1. Okay. This state of the system is nothing but a simply condition of existence. So, if we move forward, the next concept is macroscopic properties. What is by macroscopic properties? A macroscopic properties is nothing but the properties of a system. Which contains atoms, molecules, ions. Or ions. These properties arises due to the collective behavior of all the molecules or ions or atoms. Once again, the properties of a system which contains atom, molecule, ions, and the properties is nothing but the pressure, volume and temperature. These properties pressure, volume and temperature arises due to the collective behavior of all the molecules or ions or atom from which the system is made. So, volume is a macroscopic property which arises. If we contain a container with piston having n number of particles A, B, C, D to n. Therefore, we know volume is a macroscopic property which arises V is equal to VA plus VB plus VC plus VD plus VE and so on. Similarly, for pressure, temperature, energy gives free energy and entropy also. These are the macroscopic properties, the collective behavior of molecules, ions and atoms is nothing but a macroscopic property. So, if we move forward, the another two properties are there: extensive and intensive property. The property of a system which depends upon the quantity of matter, contained, or which depends upon the amount, amount. That property is nothing but an extensive property. The property of a system which depends upon the quantity of matter, or which depends upon the amount. That property is nothing but an extensive property. For example, the energy means it's Helmholtz free energy or Gibbs free energy, enthalpy, okay, or the number of molecules or the volume or heat capacity. Or molarity, these are the extensive property. Now intensive property is nothing but the property of a system which independent upon the quantity of matter, don't depend upon the amount, which is dependent upon the quantity of matter and don't depend upon the amount. For example, the temperature, molar volume, pressure, density, pH, viscosity, dielectric constant, mole fraction, free energy per mole. These are the intensive properties which is dependent upon the quantity, So, if we take the ratio of two extensive properties, it becomes a intensive, it becomes a intensive property. If we take the ratio of mass and volume, both are in extensive property, then mass per unit volume is nothing but a density is nothing but a intensive property, like that. Okay, in doubt in this? Any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask me in comment section. The remaining part of this topic we'll discuss in next lecture.